Hi friends, so today we will see how we can create a Jenkins pipeline jobs. As you know that in last video we have completely installed the Jenkins on our Ubuntu server. So I will go to the Ubuntu machine, log into the Ubuntu box. Here you can see my Ubuntu server is hosted in Oracle VirtualBox, and from there I have used the my system IP address inside the Ubuntu virtual machine, where you will see here this is the terminal where my Ubuntu OS is there, and from there I opened the Firefox and I hit the IP address of the system with the 8080, which is the port which we have allowed in the last video through firewall. As you are following my playlist, so you would come to know. So guys, in the Jenkins, we would create a pipeline. Now, why the pipeline is needed? Because we need to ensure that we would communicate our pipeline with the Jenkins. So to automate the deployment. Okay, so as I am onto the Jenkins dashboard page, so here I will go to new item. As for the steps, so the first step is I will click on new item. So I will click here, go on new item. So you will see here that our new item name, I will give the item name is kind CICD. So I will, since I have created a single node cluster as per our playlist, as you are following, so you would come to know that I have created a single node cluster on our Ubuntu machine, and now we have installed the Jenkins. So we will provide connectivity through Jenkins in the upcoming videos. Also, as previously we have provided the automation CI/CD pipeline through GitHub Action. So here we are creating it through Jenkins. That is the only difference. Now type is pipeline. I will provide here the name of the pipeline is, and after that what it will ask is for the next step, it will choose the pipeline script from SCM. So okay, SCM is a versioning tool like GitHub. So we will pull the script. So I will select here SCM. So here you can see. Okay, so after hitting on pipeline, you can see here that I have created an item and I clicked on OK. Okay, now it will ask us to configure it. Okay, guys. So I will pull the script we need, and the version control which it will fetch the script is like a Git. Okay, so we will type our GitHub repo where we have created a single node cluster. So I will also log into the GitHub, but first let's see the screen. I will close the terminal first. Okay, now here it's asking us for the description for the configuration item. Okay, so here I will write the which is project is it's a GitHub. So I will mention the GitHub here or pull SCM. Okay, so as per our agenda, we will pipeline the script from SCM. Okay, so here you can also see the description, and the description, and here I can give it as SCM Git for the description. If you can enable or disable the current project, and we were on the pipeline. Let's see once again. Okay, the pipeline script I can mention here. Okay, so first we will write here the SCM Git because we would be pulling it from our GitHub. Okay, so here I will give the description as this, and it's a GitHub project, and the project URL it would be asking, guys. Okay, so the project URL I will pull SCM. Let's see what is there. Pipeline script from SCM. Okay, let's pull it from SCM branch main and script path. Okay, hook. Okay, that also you can call, but let's pull it from SCM because they have not defined any triggers here. So let's check here. Pull SCM we will select, and let's it will define the schedule where we have to define, means if we have to commit this schedule we have to define here. So from there you can see it allows the syntax of like cron job when you have to run at scheduled intervals. Okay, so likewise hour of the day means like every 6 hours if you have to run this script, so that defines pulling. Okay, now here it's GitHub SCM pulling. Let's click on here to know more. So I will maximize this so that to have a better visibility, and that will be clear. So GitHub SCM. Okay, it will ask for the pipeline script, guys. So this pipeline script would be try a simple pipeline, hello world, GitHub scripted pipeline. Okay, what is simple pipeline? Let they want to and or hello world if you want to script. So this is the pipeline, guys, where we can just script the hello world and print the message to them. But since we have worked with our GitHub repo, and when we have created a single node cluster, there we have created the pipeline for single node cluster where we have using as the cluster. Okay, so that script also we can push it like use it here, and we can apply those changes here, guys. And here advanced configuration also we can provide the details. But for testing purpose, yes, I can basically use this as a as a workflow, but it is not mandatory to create your own script for provisioning it. For testing you can of course do that, but since ours is a single node cluster, so I will create a Jenkins file, a sample Jenkins file, which I will show you. Basically in a code editor I can show you. So this is the Jenkins file which I have created, that will check out the code. This will pipeline agent any code. So in that way I can manage this code, means I can edit or modify this code. Okay, so for that, you can imagine manage it by Visual Studio Code, or also you can manage it from here. Okay, so just this is the ready-made script which I have created using ChatGPT. You can also create, just give the instruction for the sample, single node cluster. We want a checkout code for or simple pipeline for our Jenkins. So that will check out the code. It will also create a kind cluster, and also then it will deploy the cluster to deploy to Kubernetes. Okay, now ensure that K8s will be installed. So we have to make certain changes here. So username, suppose I will draft here. So this is my repo name, which I have copied here. Where you will see here, this is the repo name, my username with this. So I will modify this line. So, and this will be main branch, which is you see in the GitHub, which is we have hosted it on main branch, means this is on main. It will trigger. Okay, and then it will create a kind cluster. This is the shell scripting file which will check if kind is not there. Then it will check create the cluster with the name as a demo. Okay, and then it will check for the other parameters, means it will deploy the to Kubernetes, and from there it will check the context, and here it will FATS, means it will apply the deployment FATS. Means FATS will be KS will be the Kubernetes cluster, which is a cloud native deployment for Kubernetes. So that will help the native deployment, means lightweight deployment can be done using single node cluster using K8s. Okay, and this also, guys, we have uh, repro it in uh, GitHub, where you can see in when I go to workflow, there I have installed the K8s. Here you can see kind cluster. This is using GitHub action, guys, we have done. Okay, and now this we are doing it with the help of Jenkins. Okay, so now what is the difference here, guys? Here we have installed it manually, means we call the curl library and automatically install the uh, kind cluster. We did not rely on other third-party tools. We pull the curl library, and from curl it will fetch the URL and install the kind. And accordingly, with the same thing as they have done with the K8s. When we go here, see, guys, this is the curl kubectl, which is the Linux distro, where it will take the path and you run the deployment. So the same way this file can be modified, guys, I mean to say. So for this, what we will do, we will basically use this file as a example for managing our deployment. So I will update the code here. Agent any we have written here the same, we don't have to do any changes. And from there in notepad I will manage this code and repro it. So guys, I am updating the GitHub URL here with the my repo, and once that URL gets updated, I will create an another stage. So this is another stage where I will have to create a another steps. So for this stage, I will need to ensure that the create ion cluster should be used, and in that code I will mention with the steps. Now, what it will perform in steps, guys, it will perform the sh shell scripting and with three dots. Then I will give if open if. Then if it is not kind, you can also do the Jenkins UI night mode by from here. Get clusters, and from here I will do grep command for demo as a name. Then it will create a kind with a create a cluster with the name as demo. Okay, and then I will close this loop. So I will open it here. Now two brackets gets closed. Now next is I will deploy to Kubernetes. So for that I will have to write this as the code, because we are ultimately deploying this Groovy script to Kubernetes. So that I will have to open another stage, and where I will have to give the message as deploy to Kubernetes. And from here, this stage, I will write the steps, and in that steps, I will again open the dots and sh. Then I will run the kubectl. And after that, once this file gets prepared, we will be able to do the YML formatter. So that will be able to help in our more effective way to format this file. So I will create a kind text. This is the context into which the cluster information will be provided, and this is the context name I will have to give, because here we are doing another container, guys, and from this container we would be creating a cluster information. So it will get the cluster information, and after that, if it will apply F and K S. Instead of demo, you can give the information create cluster name as kind control plane, because when we check our terminal, there it is our kuber cluster information. If you have to check, then you can get here. Okay, so once it's do the configuration, let's it will ask for the steps. Okay, it is okay, terminal. Yes. So here I can give the command. I will, if I have to get the cluster information, what I will write is, so I will write kubectl cluster info. Okay, it is running it as this cluster info in context kind context kind control plane. Suppose I will write the name of our, not demo. I am writing this name. Okay, it does not exist. No problem. demo if I have to, it also does not exist. So we are able to create it. Okay. So let's create this cluster. And after that, I will close with the closing brace with these three dots and three brackets closed. Then I will write the post method. Now, what this post method will do, this will post the data and ensure that this pipeline, once the task gets completed, it will get printed. Okay, so let's echo the pipeline finished. So we ensure that once this task gets completed, it would be able to, it will get finished. So after the pipeline gets finished, we'll press on enter and this bracket comes close here. So we'll have to also ensure that the brackets will be proper in closing brace because it will create an error where if they are not in a synchronized way or they are not properly closed. So here's kind of, and from there we can easily run the check the code on the formatter because if any mistakes is there, so it will be helpful to us to rectify it. So let it loads. Okay, best YML formatter. Let's check here. I will push the code. Scripted pipeline. I will copy this. Control A, Control C, and it's not hello world, right? It's just a scripted pipeline. Okay, preparation. Okay, that is a scripted pipeline code and hello world. Suppose if I GitHub plus Maven is also there. If any tools we are using, so it will provide this kind of structure. And after that, suppose I will have to try sample pipeline, then they will provide us this code, any stages. So ours is a hello world we can use and act as a sample pipeline, which we will customize it for hello world. Okay, this is the code which I will copy and I will paste. Now here YAML formatter I will do, and from there I will format the code. Load data, I will load the data. No, this pipeline path we can give it as a Jenkins path where we can write it. So this path we have to give this script for path. It's Jenkins file. So this I will have to give here. So I will load the data first. Close. Why it is asking upload the file. We have to format the data basically. So I will paste the script here. Okay, and we'll click on format here. These are the ads which we have to close here in the website is coming. Script is created. This will directly maps up this script. Once we have created, we can give the name, and this script what it will do, it will directly maps to what we have created already in GitHub Actions. Okay, so GitHub Actions is nothing but it's the workflow where we have created here. And when you go to Actions, these are the workflows for GitHub, which we have already fixed the workflow syntax, and this is the kind workflow which we have created. And from there, the same thing we are doing using Jenkins. And if you want to give any kind of name suggestion for it, so you can provide the name and main branch I have to give. So let's go to main branch here advanced. Okay, try sample pipeline, and this is from SCM pooling, so it will be the script and definition, script definition, pipeline script from SCM. Okay, okay, this is the code, and now I will hit on save. to perform the actions. Yeah, I will save the changes and thereafter I will trigger it the script from HCM. And one change is also we have to do, we have to also put the options in we have to also give the URL of Jenkins means in our GitHub repo settings. That option, that point we have to, which is very important point, guys. We should not miss it. So this point I will provide it here. This is the main point. When we go to GitHub, we'll have to check for repo settings and webhooks. So I will go to GitHub here. This is my repository, which is when I go to kinds here, this is my repo. And from there, I will go to settings. Okay, in settings, I will have the option of webhooks. So where is webhook here, guys? We have to see that option. And from there, we have to put the URL of Jenkins so that it will identify, it will connect with the Jenkins server. Okay, so webhooks and payload URL we have to provide. Pull request, set up reset button, set up discussions, allow merging, archives, pushes. We will directly search it as a webhook. This is the webhook option, guys. Okay, in the left hand side you will see, and here we can add a webhook so that it will communicate with uh, the option. Okay, it will have to authenticate. Okay, so let me verify it on my Gmail and it will verify. I am identifying it and putting it on the verification authentication so that it will provide access to the Jenkins when after hitting the URL. Now what Jenkins URL I will type, guys? The Jenkins URL I will be mentioning here is the IP address with the 8080 port number. Okay, this URL I will have to mention. This is the system IP of that machine. So this is the payload URL, guys, which is called the Jenkins URL. The payload URL we have to put it here. Okay, so this payload URL, it will be our request, which it would be taking it from GitHub server, from the Ubuntu server. Okay, so what is the IP of my virtual machine? It's 192.168.31, and after that I will have to 8080. So this will identify the IP address of our, and in that Jenkins URL, I will write it as GitHub webhook. In the GitHub URL, so this it will identify the type of request which is coming. Okay, and it will identify in our Jenkins. Okay, while when it will be running the workflow. Okay, when it will be running the build. Okay, now after that, let's hit on save because we have to add a, so and we have to, if we have to enable the SSL verification, then it is recommended we can, for test environment we are disabling it because it is a test lab. So we are just testing in our lab environment, but I won't recommend it for production purpose. Okay, but even if I will do the SSL verification, then it will be, it provides some kind of certificate issues. Let's for now I am disabling it and adding it. Okay, now what is webhook basically, guys? It will allow the external services. So what is our external service here? Our external service here is Jenkins. Okay, so this external service GitHub will authenticate by webhook and it will call the API of the GitHub server in order to run the workflow in our Jenkins. Now, when the specified events happen, we will send a post request to each of the URL you provided. Okay, so this is our push request in the code which we have written for Jenkins. See, guys, this is the push post request. It will deploy to Kubernetes, and now I will hit apply. Let me check the. So this is the triggers we have set up. Pipeline script also we have mentioned here. And after that, let's click on save again. So this configuration is managed, and now we are able to authenticate with the GitHub URL. So guys, this is about our pulling the HCM the triggers via webhooks through GitHub, and we have put the payload URL in our GitHub portal for the Jenkins IP address with the host name. Okay, so this is about the creation of pipeline, a Jenkins pipeline in our pipeline job in our for single node cluster in our Ubuntu VirtualBox environment. Thank you for watching.